What's up, Taiwan? I'm Erika Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. One person is dead, another is missing, and over 400 are stranded in central and southern Taiwan. That's after massive flooding and landslides brought about by a recent typhoon destroyed roads and cut remote communities off from the outside world. Erika Liu has more.
Collapsed roads, downed electrical lines, a gas station buried in a landslide. This is Renai Township, a mainly indigenous area in the mountains of central Taiwan. On Friday, it was hit by torrential rain brought about by Typhoon Khanun. What followed was intense flooding and landslides that have left at least one dead and one missing. More than 500 people in central Nantao County and Kaohsiung in the south are stranded or in difficult-to-reach areas, and hundreds more have lost power. Taiwan's government sent out search and rescue teams over the weekend and on Monday. The National Fire Agency deployed over 100 personnel and rescue dogs to assist with the effort. They are also using helicopters to deliver supplies and reach more remote areas.
今早6点28分呢，透过空警总队的直升机运补物资500公斤，将会分送到这4处人员受困的地点。另外也调挂1名孕妇到南投体育场来送医。
Local volunteer groups have also mobilized, sourcing donations and other supplies for those in need.
奶粉，然后还有小朋友的尿布跟大人的尿布。目前是有些部落是缺电、缺水，所以大部分的话应该就是干粮啊、泡面啊、罐头啊这种，就是不需要去煮。还有那个水，就是民生用水，所以就是也蛮缺矿泉水的。
For now, the focus is on rescue and relief, but it's unclear how long it will take to rebuild connections with some of Taiwan's most remote and vulnerable communities, and how to prevent disasters like this from happening again. Devin Tsai and Erika Liu for TaiwanPlus.
Coral reefs around Taiwan's outlying Penghu Islands are being choked by seaweed, and recent typhoon weather failed to clear the algae as some volunteers had hoped. A type of algae known as sea grapes poses a major threat to the reef ecosystem as it grows fast and competes for space with the coral. Volunteers worry the colorful reefs may die if the algae continue to spread. In recent years, the reefs have also become more fragile due to climate change.
前2年一个热一个冷，对珊瑚礁已经造成很大的伤害。死掉的珊瑚，它因为它的抗浪性就差了，因为它会脆化，它都已经在分解的阶段，然后经过这个台风一扫，就把它上面的整个都扫平。
Taiwan's housing prices are in the spotlight as the countdown to next year's election hits the 5-month mark. At campaign stops this weekend, candidates put forward their visions for how to make housing more affordable. But while they share some ideas, there's no sign of a softening in partisanship. Jean Van Trieste has this update.
Taiwan's 3 presidential candidates took to the same stage in Taichung on Saturday to address young voters' concerns. At the top of the list, high housing prices. All 3 said they want to build more social housing and change the tax system to encourage affordable housing. All 3 aim to tame home prices that are among the world's highest in terms of GDP per capita. But while their platforms may intersect in places, by Sunday they were reasserting party lines. Lai Ching-de of the ruling DPP wants expanded loans for young people and rental subsidies. He told a crowd of supporters about his troubles buying his first home. Lai's Kuomintang rival, Ho Youyi, though, says taxing house hoarders and making the rental market more transparent are key. He criticized DPP loans and subsidies.
把特别预算变成常态化，而且举债超过国民党政府的所有的举债很多嘛。最重要的，你把整个财政纪律都破坏掉，再留子孙，不是安尼俩，我讲再留曾孙了。
Ko Wen-je of the Taiwan People's Party, for his part, promised social housing, tax reform, and rental subsidies. But despite similarities to his opponents, he criticized both, calling on voters to make his the first third party in history to win Taiwan's presidency.
30年来，蓝绿无法落实给人民的承诺，这一次就让台湾民众党让柯文哲启动政治革新。
With January's election just 5 months away, even areas of agreement are stoking partisan differences. Klein Wang and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Tenant groups in Taiwan say landlords are taking advantage of a government program for renters. It's called into question how effective such efforts are at making housing more accessible. Jeremy Olivier has more.
What was meant as a boost for people who rent in Taiwan might not be the good news they'd hoped for. In July, the government rolled out nearly $1 billion in new rental subsidies, part of a program to make housing more affordable. But civic groups say the program has some major problems. They say in the past, many landlords would refuse to let their tenants apply for the subsidies because they'd be forced to report and pay taxes on their rental properties. And if their tenants went ahead and applied anyway, they would raise their rent in response. Groups now say that in addition to the subsidies, the system should also include penalties for uncooperative landlords.
其实不是反对租金补贴，要讲到萝卜跟棒子啦。因为我们现在都只给萝卜嘛，那我们就觉得针对租屋这个市场这个问题，我觉得一定要有一个策略来去解决。
Taiwan's housing prices have skyrocketed in recent years. Buying a home has become unthinkable for most young people. But rental prices have also risen steadily over the past decade. The government's rent index, which tracks the cost of renting property in Taiwan, hit a record high in June this year. It's a problem with no easy solution.
收入很低，所以我不得不租屋。租屋的话，然后政府在用一个贴补式的，但是其实只是在治标而已，那没有办法去真正的去治本。
The government says it's dedicated to solving Taiwan's housing problems. On top of subsidies, it's also creating more social housing. It aims to make over 200,000 units available by next year. But with landlords taking advantage of some programs, questions remain over how much these efforts can help. John Su and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
Major tech businesses can now benefit from new tax breaks as part of Taiwan's own version of the U.S. CHIPS Act. Companies that spend over $180 million on R&D and over $315 million on new advanced equipment will be granted tax deductions of 25% and 5% respectively. The program is seen as an incentive for companies in the semiconductor, electric vehicle, and 5G industries to continue investing in Taiwan. Meanwhile, chip giant TSMC has hit a roadblock in its plans to produce advanced chips in central Taiwan. The company is set to create 2-nanometer chips at a new plant in Taichung, but according to the Economic Daily News, work has halted pending a review by Taichung city governments this month. TSMC's plans are part of an expansion of the Central Taiwan Science Park. It's expected to take up 7% of the city's water and 24% of its electricity. Officials are expected to weigh these numbers against the needs of Taichung's residents and other businesses.
That's quite a bit. However, both Taipower and Taiwater say that they can accommodate this. There are competing interests for the local city government here in Taichung. Obviously, having the most advanced chip fab in the world is a very big prestige element to it.
People attending this year's World Scout Jamboree in South Korea are vacating their campsite a week early due to weather. Organizers said Monday the 43,000 participants from 158 countries need to leave the area before Typhoon Khanun arrives. Even before the storm, the event on the country's west coast had been plagued with problems. High temperatures caused 400 cases of heat stroke over the weekend. Campers also complained of mosquitoes all over the site. Organizers say 340 shelters across the country have been set aside for those leaving the camp. Taiwan was already in the process of pulling its scouts out of the event when the evacuation announcement was made.
这里的原因是第一个台风也要到，也有一些部分不是全部的部分团员的适应的问题，所以我们要跟大会正式提出撤离的要求。
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally today, we leave you with images of a pride parade in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. I'm Erika Liu. Take care and see you next time.